Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Noah, and in this video I want to share my thoughts on why people in power, leaders, want you to be stupid. As always, I hope you can take something away from this video, and with that being said, let's get right into it. So the topic for this hopefully quick video, I know a lot of my videos tend to run over that 15-minute mark, and I'm really trying to compact them down as much as I can, but I really want to make sure that a lot of these ideas are fleshed out, right? So I can fully articulate my thoughts and opinions and so on, but I'm going to do my best in this video here. So the point, like I said, in this video is to tell you why people that are in a position of authority, right? Leaders, companies, right? You can think as companies kind of as a whole, large companies, and sometimes governments, managers, everybody that has people that kind of reports up to them, or people that have a lot of influence or a lot of power, want the majority of people underneath them and around them to be relatively non-intellectual beings. The reason for this, I think, is because generally speaking, when you have such a huge population of people, right? You think here in the United States, we have over 300 million people. I think it's maybe even 320 or 330 million people here in the United States. It's a lot of people that's a lot of people to keep track of, to take care of, to monitor, and, everything in between. And that kind of segues into my first point here, which is people in authoritative positions as far as governments go, right? So our leaders, right, that can make rules and can dismiss rules, or they can adjust rules and laws and so on. Why these people want the general population to be relatively uninformed. They want people to be... And I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, because I don't think there is a conspiracy theory here. But I think generally speaking, they don't want people to be that educated, because when you have a large group, or just any educated people in general, they start to question some of these decisions that are being put into place as far as laws and regulations and so on. And what I think these individuals in power want is a pretty smooth sailing ride, right? They want to be able to wake up every single day, kind of go about their their day-to-day in quotes, and not have too much pushback, right? They want to be able to change laws or adjust laws, put new laws into place without people throwing a fit, without people going on strike, without any of those other endeavors that kind of spark controversy, pardon me, and so on, right? They want people to just get in line and follow suit on a day-to-day basis. And although this sounds kind of nefarious when hearing it like this, I think the same goes for family dynamics as well. If you're a parent in a family, generally you want to be the person who knows the most, right? You don't want your kid to be 5 years old and know more about your job than you do, know more about the world than you do. That's a weird dynamic, right? So I think as parents, and I think as parents, I'm not a parent, I just want to clarify, but I think there are a lot of parents that want to be the know-it-all, right, in their home, right, in that small area. But these individuals that are in power, doing the laws and all of that kind of stuff, they have a bigger family, so to speak, not just their own, but they're kind of in charge of looking over these hundreds of millions of people, and they don't want pushback, right? Similar to how a lot of parents don't want pushback from their kids. If they say do this or don't do that, they don't want the kid talking back and asking a bunch of questions. They just want them to follow suit, pardon me. I think it is important to note too here that, despite the resources and very intellectual people and just money that we have here in the United States, our education system, I think, is really not what it should be when you take into consideration the possibility of what it could be, right, if things were changed and so on. But generally speaking, I don't think there's a lot of funding that goes to the public education system and teachers' salary, and I think salaries do reflect someone's quality of work and work ethic and so on. And that's just not somewhere, or that's just not a department, unfortunately, in the United States that receives a lot of attention. So that's probably a pretty big link as to why, compared to other less resource heavy countries, the United States, I think, does tend to fall behind. But when you think of it from a person in power politically, their perspective, this is okay, right? Because generally they want, I think, people to, they want to make decisions on behalf of a lot of people. So if they say, hey, don't ask questions, just go about your day, go to work, go home, go to sleep, and keep doing that until you're 70 years old, and then like they want that, right? They want that order. And I'm not sitting here being a supporter of that by any means, but that is something that I kind of believe to be the case when it comes to people in positions of power, people in positions of influence on the general public, wanting people to be sort of dumbed down, generally speaking. The second example, and the last example that I want to give in this video specifically, are from companies, right? Companies want, and especially large companies, but companies in general, want people to be less educated. They want people, generally speaking, similar to my first example, they want people to really need their hand held. And obviously, with this being one of my videos, I'm going to loop finances into it. How do companies operate, right? How do companies, quote unquote, succeed? They make sales, right? They sell to the public, they sell to companies, which in turn, make money from the public. They thrive by collecting normal people's money, right? That is how companies become successful and stay successful, and so on. And when you have a population of educated people that can kind of think for themselves, they can problem solve on themselves, or they can call out companies for doing different shady things, or not really providing a service or a product that's really worth it. You have companies that are obviously going to be less successful because those educated individuals aren't going to be contributing to their to their profits, right? So from a company's perspective, they don't want they want people to just go to the mall every weekend, go online, go do online shopping every other day because they're bored. They want that because that is how they ultimately succeed. The companies, right, generally speaking, Amazon, Google, all of these companies aren't going to really care how your life looks when you're 55, when you're 65, when you're 70, right? They're not going to really care if you're retired. And that's just a reality, right? It's not their job to really care, and I'm okay with that logic. But along the way, right, they want to collect as much as they can from you because that's what leads their executives, their employees, to success. They're not gonna. It doesn't matter how you end up, right? You can't go to Amazon. You can't knock on old Jeff's door when you're 75 and say, "Hey, I'm still working. I spent a lot on your company. When I look back and I spent thousands and thousands, tens of thousands. Can I get a little bit of that back? I can't really. I'm having difficulty retiring and so on. You know, you're going to get shot on the lawn by private security, right? That's just not something, that's not how the world works, unfortunately. So companies too, along with, I think, people in influential positions do not want you to ask questions. They don't want people being that educated because they want people to watch an ad and immediately buy it, right? They don't want people watching an ad and then thinking a few steps ahead of if the product is even going to be good for them, or if it's needed in their day-to-day life. They just want people to keep consuming without asking any questions. And obviously, right, these are my own personal opinions, but I do believe that this is the case where people and companies that are in positions of power, right, positions of influence, like I mentioned, do not want you to be smart, right? They don't want you to be too educated, because the people that are educated can call people's shit out, right? They can call politicians shit out. They can call out laws that do not make sense. They can call out companies or their products or their services for not being a good deal, for being unnecessary, and so on. But there you go. Those are a few of my thoughts on why I believe people and companies that have a lot of influence and power want you, the consumer, to be stupid. If you have anything else to add, or if you have any feedback on my thoughts here, please let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts. As always, if you've stuck along this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for your time today, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.